Black market in middle school. In my middle school I went to, there was a black market in this hallway where there was really only one class at the beginning of the hallway, but towards the end there was no classes. Basically there were about 15 people selling stuff in that hallway. You could buy cigarettes, cigars, candy, etc. Basically my dad was my only parent and he let me buy anything, he really didn't care. I would always buy cheap phones that had access to the internet. I would take them to school and sell them for double of what I bought them for. The first week I started this operation I only brought about 10 or so. On the second day I sold out. So weekly I would buy phones on the weekend, take them to school in my bag and sell them for couple of what I paid for. It took off. I was like the most popular kid in school while I was doing this. I was making some serious cash. It went on for like 4 weeks until teachers started hearing about it. That's when demand started to go down. I got out of it, but another kid in my grade wanted to get started. He got phones somehow, I mean a lot, and took them all to school. The teachers found out and he got in big trouble. I'm just glad I got out of it when I did. The most embarrassing moment of my life. It's my first post, so sorry if it's shitty. A little context: I was in middle school and during recess me and my friends do pushing and shoving jokes that weren't so funny, and one day during recess one of my friends pushed me too hard and I felt my body about to fall, so I instinctively did a 180 and tried to catch myself with my hands, but one of my really good friends was right behind me and I swore my face was gonna land and I couldn't stop it. As if in slow motion my face fell into her breasts, and she has a decent sized chest, and for about 3 seconds that seemed like an hour I was frozen, not knowing what to do. Then I snapped together and used my hands to push myself away, but my dumbass put them in the worst places possible and I put both hands in her boobs and pushed away, said sorry and walked away. After that we haven't talked since and everyone spread rumors saying I motorboated her. I wish. I thought my wife was singing a Lion King song while we were having sex. This didn't happen today, but about 2 months ago. My wife and I just got married and we were living with my parents for a few days before we moved into our apartment. Being that we just got married, sex was definitely on our mind. My wife didn't like the idea of having sex at my parents' place because she thought it was weird, which I understand. At the same time I was like, we are married, I don't think they care, and probably already knew we were going to do it. But anyways, we watched TV until it gets late. I leave my room to check if my parents are in the kitchen or nearby, and they were in their room. Perfect. I get some drinks for us to get more relaxed. I go back to my room, lock the door, and have the TV show The Office playing in the background so no one can hear us. We start having sex and it is going great. We try different positions and switched to doggy style, and this is where I fucked up. She starts singing the part of the Lion King in the jungle song that goes I ignored it at first and was thinking she is probably just enjoying sex, but then it got louder and started sounding more ridiculous. I'm like, babe, why are you singing the Lion King? She is like, what? I'm not, and then I heard it again and she was like, that's a TV. I look up and it's Sandy singing it, and then we started laughing like crazy. I accidentally drank gasoline. So my dad has this sick red motorcycle. He doesn't use it anymore, so he is saving it to give to me when I'm old enough to drive it. So my dad has 2 Sprite bottles that I know hold gasoline. I went 2 days ago to see if there are snacks. I saw the Sprite bottles and went to get a cup, I'm not weird, and poured a glass of Sprite and I took a big sip. Once I tasted the gasoline I threw up because it tastes so bad. I mean, I rarely throw up, but it tasted terrible. I ran to the kitchen and took out the sink head and started spraying my mouth. My dad came out to see what happened and I threw up again because I couldn't get the nasty out. So there is me and my dad trying various techniques to get the taste out, but none of them work. So we try for 20 minutes, and in those 20 minutes I throw up 4 times. And that's a lot of times for me. Usually I throw up 2 to 3 times per year, so yeah. We go to a local doctor office to see if they can get the taste out and to see if I was damaged. They gave me a special fluid that is hard to explain what it is, but it is not medicine. It worked mostly, but I can still taste the gasoline. After they checked if I was okay, and my body was fine because I didn't swallow the gasoline and just spit it out. So yay me. We went home because I was okay except from the taste. So if you accidentally put gasoline in your mouth and spit it out, you're most likely okay except for throwing up and for the terrible taste. Alright, you'll get ready for this. So I work at a strip club as a door guy, and this 73-year-old man came in today. First time I ever seen him. So due to the virus we have to take temperature before we let people in, and also wand them down with metal detectors. So anyways, I was wanding the guy down, and when I got down to his waistline the thing started beeping. He goes, "Does that thing have a fat fucking cock detector?" Naturally I start dying laughing and let him into the club. As he opens the door to get inside, he turns around and whispers, "Don't let your meat loaf." So around half an hour later he comes outside while I'm out there smoking, and we get to talking, and turns out this guy was in Vietnam and the Middle East and saw combat. Guy was a total beast. Guy was wisdom in the flesh. So I thank him for the funny moments and the talk we had. He shakes my hand and almost breaks it and walks to his car. As he opens the door, he looks at me and says, "Don't let your meat loaf," and gets in his car and drives away. I hope I see you again, Gary. My grandfather had the best outlook and sense of humor. Even though he had been through the Great Depression and fought in WWII, my grandpa had such a great attitude, and it makes me wonder why. One time he and I were getting pizza and sitting at the table. The waitress comes over and he orders a pie. She asks, "Would you like it cut into 8 pieces or 12? He responds, "Better make it 8. I don't think we can eat 12 today." I remember him telling me one day when he was on the ladder and goes on about this time he fell off of a 40 ladder, but luckily he was only on the 2nd rung. I don't know if that's funny to anyone else, but I just wanted to share. I thought about just now as I was cutting a pizza. Literally my first interaction with the internet. Accidental porn. I was thinking back and remembered the first time our computer class was given access to the internet back in the day. I'm pretty sure our school had just gotten it at that point. There was a laundry list of things that were off limits. Apparently the irritating parents committee had decided vampires, witches, ghosts, and all sorts of innocuous yet interesting things were verboten. Being a young gun, I mulled what I should look for on this historic first foray into the web and decided on X-Men. What appeared was all the porn. I don't know who looked more defeated, me or my teacher. He quickly clicked me back and we just never mentioned it. It's funny in retrospect how, out of the entire class, I was the only one who truly got an introduction to the internet that day.